Alright. We have arrived in Spooktober, and yeah, Wednesday stream because I can't on Friday. I have a work-related thing, so we are going to do this today, and I don't think I can stream as long as I usually do. Probably an hour shorter, so we'll see. Anyway, we have new featured contracts. We have a bunch of new stuff actually. There is the Season of the Dragon with Bruce Lee as the elusive target, if you can call it a target in this case. There is a video available on my YouTube channel, so go check that out. And yeah, let's see what else is new. These are elusive targets, rehashes, fine. Premium contact for the thing, I have those. I bought it. October 30th to November is the Halloween Mills Reverie. Oh, it's a bit loud in my ears. Turn it down a bit. Okay. So that's not up yet just yet. Pinehole, 5th of September. Can't remember. Don't know exactly how that works. Thought I saw something change. Full body reboard. Oh, the Sangroid suit. That's also October 30th, so that's a month away. The Assassin's Curse is right now, and Japanese Horror Tales is in 30th. So this is active. This drop is now activated for me on my channel till October 12th. So accumulate half an hour watch time, and you will on any Hitman streamer and combined. So yeah, then you can unlock these things. So yeah, let's dive right into it. I want to see how these right in the pie hole. How do I unlock this pretzel? I know it's just a reskin of the muffin, but Hitman roadmap. These notes. Let's see, Hitman 3. These notes. September patch notes. Let's see. New content. Pretzel. In Colorado, presentation is when it involves seasonal threats. Do this to get the pretzel. So that's in Colorado. Okay. Let's see. Colorado. And that's a challenge. Let's see. There we go. Knock down 3 targets by throwing a small pumpkin while disguised as a militia cook. Okay. Is it something I want to do right now? No. So, well, at least I know how to do it. Anyway, let's dive into the contract mode. Featured, we have a new set. The Assassin's Curse, so let's dive right in. Shall we start here? And let's see where we can go from here. So this is the attic of the mansion, so I guess we're starting as this dude. So that is over here. Yeah. And then we have to get up there, get the katana. Just believe them, I guess. And disguise, okay, good. Don't need, well, lockpick, I don't know. Let's just take some distractions, coins. Yeah. Okay, let's go. Say hello to my little pumpkin friend. Hello, hello. Since it's Spooktober, we switch out the pickle for the pumpkin. Okay. DeSantis.
Of course I'm alone.
Need to get up there. Let's see if I can remember how to get up there. Oh, it's you, huh?
Hey, what's up?
Yeah, unlock this one. I wonder if I'm allowed to, like, carry the sword around. I can't remember. Oh, we'll see. Boom, 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 boom.
This is impossible.
Just look for a combination code like Ms. DeSantis said.
Huh?
Yes, I can carry it around.
Beautiful.
Okay. So, over there, oh god. Oh, shit. In here. Not yet, so let's go. Oh, wrong door. This door. And we go down here because our first victim is over here. Question is, where do we put him?
What the?
Yes?
Whoa.
Seriously?
Damn.
What the hell?
Everything quiet on your front?
Okay.
What?
Man, got some strange noises here. Looking into it, over.
That took way longer than it should have. So okay, let's just put him here. So that he's out of sight. Hopefully nobody is the wiser. Okay, so one is upstairs. Thought they were all downstairs, but okay. Let's see. Oh, so it's you, huh?
Sir, you cannot enter these premises. That'll do. I'm glad we speak the same language.
Let's put you away, shall we? There we go. Anything useful here? Key cards. Don't think I'll need it, but yeah. Okay, so that takes care of him. He is okay outside. And he's the other one outside. And he's even lower. So one of these two. That's a bit of a... Okay.
Oh, is there like a bodyguard academy?
Oh. So all enforcers, huh? You had to, huh? Okay, so when he comes in, I'll have to drag him to... I can drag him to the corner right over there.
Hey there. Hello?
Before anybody else comes in. Easy peasy. Okay, so next up... Oh, where is he? Over here. Oh, over here. That's easy. Thank you. There we go. Okay, and the last guy is right over there. Oh, he's the one standing near. Careful of the camera. Oh, yeah, he's down there. Okay. So, how can I do this? I want you to fuck off.
Escaped critters haven't had time to multiply. You gotta be kidding.
What is that doing here?
Okay. I need you to come in here, sir. Let's see, if I do this, then I can them over there. Boom, 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 boom. Get in here now. Chop. There we go. Easy peasy crap. There another one, except in the basement. Oh, in the... Oh, there's one in the cave. But where was the other one? Was there another one? Oh, right. It's all the way over there. Ah, I don't wanna. Sometimes you're an idiot when you play. Can't remember which way I went first time. Over here. Past him. Up here.
Get up.
Fancy get up. I'm literally wearing the same outfit as you, dude. Well, almost. Okay. What happens if I take the drop down there? Because it seems to me he's over there.
This is impossible. You gotta be kidding me. Looking into some noises. Please hold on.
Oh, then I go past her. Yeah. Let's just go down here. He's over there. He's over here. Right.
Sorry.
Gonna put you over here. Hopefully he doesn't see me dragging him. Cool. Put you over here. I don't think anybody comes down here, but yeah. Just to be on the safe side. Okay, so next one is him.
Gonna check out a possible intruder. Stand by.
Surprise, motherfucker! Here we go. Okay, who was up next? Oh, this dude. Right. Can I go down quickly from here? No. Of course, I'm on the wrong end. This upper floor always confuses me. Okay. Get in here, sir.
Don't let this get to you, man. Calm and smile.
Okay. And then, can I fit in here, in this corner? No. Okay. Get him in here. Let the door close.
Hey, you the all up there?
Hey, Penny. Happy Wednesday. I hope you're having a great time. Let's see, where was the other one? Oh, wait, he is over there. Yeah. There we go. That's why I picked up this thing.
There was a dead rat on the
Okay, unlock the door. Yeah, I decided to stream today. I took the afternoon off because I have some overtime. Because on Friday I'm having a work-related event, so I cannot stream. So yeah, bit of a change of plans. Okay, be careful of the camera. It should be wide enough, right? There we go. And I shaved off a few minutes. There we go. I could probably like boost glitch myself onto the roof and then walk down, get the katana in like 30 seconds, but I'm not about the glitches. There we go. Nice. Let's see. 4 minutes. How the hell did I lose 2 minutes compared to Manga? Oh well, he has a faster route. Well done. You saw that video? Yeah. I saw one that wasn't so bad, but then the other one came on. He like flashing in and out of the menu every 3 times a second. That was hard to watch. Fantastic how he did it, but yeah, it's hard to watch. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I like to do things glitchless or as close as glitchless as possible. I did one ET where I abused a glitch that was the army captain or whatever it was on the what is that, Santa Fortuna. By the way, they fixed that, so you cannot do that anymore. That's the when the army captain spawns into the room that's next to the roadway you spawn close to. You throw in an emetic. He gets 6, but because he was sitting on a chair and he stood up, he teleported to the roof. It was a weird glitch. And then I got him on the roof, so I got like 23 seconds on that ET or something. But that glitch doesn't work anymore, so you have to figure something else out, but yeah. Anyway. No, not freelancer. Contracts. Featured contracts. And then, what can we do? Oh, that was this one. Okay, so we are going to Bangkok. The Shuriken of Silence. When the shurikens leave your hands, the silence of death is inevitable. Okay, so we gotta have shurikens. Okay. Haven't used those in a while. Melee items, I guess. Do not take the bad shurikens because that probably won't work. Okay. Yeah, you have the thought so. Greedy little coins for done. Okay. Let's go. Let's go. I saw what he did with the mini comp on APA Season 3 on Dubai. Okay, he also was glitching all over the place or something. Okay. Who's first? Oh, they're all down in the basements. Okay.
Excuse me. You can't come wandering.
Fuck. 46 seconds. Not sure what altering the resolution does when coming down from Dubai's top ledge. Yeah, I saw him messing around with his settings in the one of the contracts too. That was weird in the ET. I have no idea what he was doing. I guess it changes his frame rate. That somehow enables him to do stuff, or it slows him down or something. I don't know. Oh boy.
Hey, somebody want to help us out over here?
They hear that, huh?
Oh my god, I'm glad to see you. Please, you gotta come and help.
What if I lure him over here? That's a pain in the ass.
Are you looking for assistance? I'm here to help.
No, I'm not looking for assistance.
Hey, are you there? I heard something suspicious. I'll keep you posted.
Wonder if they hear that if I throw that in over there. Nope. Oh, that works out.
Please put him.
He moves over there. Crap. Why are you here?
Can't you find a
Ah, this is not what I wanted. Ah, this is taking too long. Now he comes back. Crap, why is he here so long? Well, I might as well yoink him into the box. For some reason it takes forever. He kind of floated down from the high ledge with maxed out resolution. Yeah, I guess that's what enables him to look into the Finally. Oh, now I'm fine. Oh, crap. Okay. Planning. Coins. Do I really need a coin? Is somewhere I'm passing? No, not really. Floor, ground floor, nothing in the basement. Well, south wing, basement. Where the hell is this? I don't think that's where I'm entering. I'm forgoing the coins. Let's take a calmer. Let's see if we can do that.
Please let me know if I can help you in any way.
Yeah, I got a suspicious sound. It's probably nothing, but I'm gonna take a look anyway.
You should go see.
Yeah, all right.
Crap. Crap, 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 crap. Not far enough.
You're good here?
Oh, that's that thing. Okay.
Oh, come on, give me a... What's that? Go!
God damn it! Why? Isn't that far? It's not far enough, I guess. It's got to be far enough that the dude doesn't hear it, but the security guard does. Still hears it. Great success.
Please. You're gonna die, bastard!
Hey, somebody wanna help us out over here?
Christ almighty.
Please let me know if I can help you in any way.
Okay. Let's try that again. Oh, they hear that upstairs, but he doesn't hear that? What? Yeah, the dudes upstairs are coming down, so yeah. I gotta restart this. That was weird.
You're good here?
He has very selective hearing. That's weird. That's the wrong dude. Wrong one. It's gonna ruin everything.
Are you looking for assistance?
No, I'm not looking for assistance, lady.
Hey, you hear me? We might have some disturbance.
These multinationals like to branch out. Investment, prestige. Go to football. Besides, the way I hear it.
Sword! Drop! Really?
I don't want any trouble.
Wait, I shot her. What?
Please!
Where did the dart go? What? Fuck on hell. Fuck me, man. Oh boy. That was weird. Boink.
You gotta be.
Might have a possible
Hitman is only
disturbance.
one of them.
I thought Thomas Cross was a media mogul.
These multinationals like to branch out. Investment, prestige. Go to football team. Please, just. Hey, man, what's the problem?
Oh, go back where I came from. Just remember to look out for that dude. Look out for the ladies.
Okay.
There we go. Red guns? Wait, what? Why do I have red guns? Crap. Ugh. That was weird. Why? Why? The game is trolling me.
Okay, I understand your concern. I'll have a look.
Okay, thanks.
Weird.
Look, man, drop whatever's in your hand!
Crap. That was on me. I fucked it up. It was this moment that he knew he fucked up.
Please let me know if I can help you in any way. Okay, let's not do that again.
Hell.
Don't make this.
I think we need a doctor here.
Oh, it's you. You saw him in my previous run too. Okay, I guess I'll have to drag him around the corner so he doesn't see him. We can do that.
Everything is going all right here?
We can do that. We can fix that. Hopefully that doesn't drag anybody down from there.
God.
Could you please? Whoop-de-doo. Come on.
You didn't fall asleep again. Bitch. I wonder where the dart goes. Do I hit the boxes or something? So weird. So weird. Weird. Oops. Go through the right side.
Hi.
Okay.
I'm asking you nicely to put down the gun, all right? Now, you son.
My timing is fucked now because of this. Come on. Oh, now the dude is coming back already. Wrong headlock on. God damn it.
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
Oh man.
I'm here to help.
This isn't difficult. And yet I keep messing up. Oh man. Maybe I should look at some real Hitman players. Somebody happily commented earlier on manga stream.
Hey, it's me. I just heard something suspicious.
Look, you don't.
Crap. I'm better off throwing it from here. Or shooting him. Shooting the wall behind him and then throw the
Let me know if I can help you in any way.
then throw the briefcase at his head. That would be better.
Wait a minute.
What was that noise?
Okay. There we go. Get this out just in case. No, they're facing the right way. Good, good, good. Red guns again. Who found this dude? Is it because the shots fired? It can be. Oh. Is it? No, it can be the camera. So, this is the only... or, oh, did somebody over there find him? Why did he come down here? Because of the shots? I guess so. Hey, Alonso. Happy October. And happy Wednesday. So, maybe... Yeah. Okay, so that's gonna work out. Okay, I have an idea. It's the wrong dude. Yeah, see?
Hey.
I wonder how the hell does he hear it, but the guard doesn't. So weird.
Is going all right here?
Great pumpkin rig. Yeah. You can use it because if you're you're sub, so you can use the pumpkin rig. I replaced the pig hole with the pumpkin for October. There you go.
Yo, listen to me.
Hey, who is throwing stuff around here? Come on! No, no!
It didn't want to switch, and it didn't want to like the on-screen one. I know it's the same button, but it looks great. Yeah, it's a bit bigger, of course. What?
Assistance? I'm here to help.
It didn't want to switch to my. I couldn't switch, and then it wouldn't lock on. Sometimes you don't want it to lock on, and you just. It's almost impossible to break the lock on. And then when you need it to lock on, it doesn't want to. Hey, Bimpy. Yeah, let me guess, Mr. Bimpy. You're a graphic designer and you want to upgrade my graphics, stream graphics. I'm not interested. I can't log on. God damn it.
You're good here?
It didn't let me. I know that sometimes happens when you're too close to an obstacle, then it doesn't show the lock on. So weird.
Wait a minute.
Crap! Hitman is not hitmanning today.
Is going all right here?
It's the curse of the shuriken.
Jesus!
You fucking deaf, mate! Aside from Carla Ray, the whole I just met you, this is crazy, man. So call me maybe doesn't work. Yeah. Yeah, they should make it. They should twist the that into things. When you stream, I don't know if you have the same thing, Alonso, but yeah, it's so ridiculous. The amount of offers I get through Discord, it's bullshit.
I got a suspicious sound. It's probably nothing, but I'm gonna...
Get a few of those, yeah. And I imagine the bigger you are, the worse it gets. So manga must not get them on a daily basis. It's so cringe.
Please
What's that noise?
You gotta be kidding me. The timing was off. I waited too long for him to turn around.
Are you looking for assistance?
Oh man, timing is everything in this freaking contract. Do, 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 do.
I heard that.
Unbelievable.
Please let me know if I can help you in any way.
Ah, da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. Come on.
Hey, are you there? I heard something suspicious. I'll keep you posted.
You were freaking.
Who is throwing?
I forgot to take my thing out. Crap. That sounded weird, but you know what I mean.
Okay, whoa. Just relax, all right? What's going on?
See, now the... Where is the...
Help! I need help!
Where did the thing go? Stay over here. And there's no dart in you. Yeah, they're coming down. Where did the dart go? Did I hit this or something?
Whoa, what the hell? Oh, no, you don't.
What am I hitting? That lady isn't... See, the dart just vanished into thin air. What the fuck? Oh, my timing was pretty on point for getting the dude Hans Graub. Bit of a weird name for somebody in this part of the world. Illuminati darts, yeah. They just vanish into thin air. Okay.
Hey, you hear me? Think we might
Yeah.
have some disturbance.
You don't need to have a 10-minute conversation about checking out a sound, dude.
Someone help me deal with this asshole. Jesus H. Christ. You're normal people!
It's unbelievable. Okay, more pistol, more bullet distractions. More. One over here.
Huh. I didn't like the sound of that.
Fucking hell. More. The Kylo Ren in me is coming out. Just give me a second. I'm getting a message, probably from my wife. Let's see what. Fuck off with this crap. Let me see. Okay. There we go. Okay. Get that out just to be sure.
Seriously.
Wait a minute. Might have a possible disturbance. Keep you posted.
Huh? Oh my, oh Christ! Oh my God, that's the worst.
Okay. Now let's get the hell out of here before anything else goes to shit. There we go. Finally, better Kylo Ren than Kylo Stimpy.
Duh. Winning.
Thank you, thank you. Okay, how did we do? I'm number 1. 142. I should have waited 5 seconds. How did I do? How much? Phoenix. 2 seconds. 2 seconds, okay. Okay, what is the Stefan 7? Oh, 10 seconds, yeah, he's a known cheater. 1 minute. Okay. I guess you could go to the other ones first and then get the last dude I killed first on the way back, maybe? Oh well. I'm not gonna grind it. I've done this one enough. I'm done. Okay, next. Where are we going next? Features. Let's see. Miami. Going to Miami. New York. New York. Kaido. Ooh. Kaido. Berlin or Dartmoor. Let's do Miami. Miami. You are harmed when touched. It's because these hands are lethal. My hands are registered lethal weapons. Unarmed. Okay, so we can do whatever. In any disguise. Okay, so are these guys all in the police station? Probably not. Well, let's just start here. Yeah. Let's see. Hey, Choda. Happy not even close to Friday. Yeah, happy not even close to Friday to you, Choda. Welcome, welcome. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Playing on Wednesday because I can't Friday. Oh, they're not here. Oh, crap. Oh, they're all over there in the Bayside Center. So, replan mission. Okay. And because I forget, because it's the Bruce Lee events, I'm going as that. And then Dolphin Fountain, and then let's go. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go.
Seriously going to try to ask me about that?
I may only
Looking
be a
like a
reporter,
pro,
but I have
sir.
ambitions too, you know. The fact is that Kronstadt is very likely withholding information on...
They see that, huh?
Somebody help me!
Oh, even he sees that. Oh my god. How am I gonna take care of him?
Okay, gotcha. Understood. I may only be a...
Oh wait, I gotta be unarmed, right?
You know, the fact is that Kronstadt is very
clear.
likely withholding information on what actually happened in Tungan Valley, and I think the people have a right
Gotta
to
be
know.
kidding me.
My editor got
And I think people have a right to know.
called up their PR department. Gave me the biggest runaround I've ever been. Complete damage.
That's why I'm thinking I should take the shot here. Robert Knox has got to know something, and if I can...
Robert Knox has to know something.
So I just transferred.
God damn it, that accent, man.
Figured I'd try out a new
Oh, they found him. Okay, let's just pretend that all worked.
Very interesting. Imagine the implications for humanity as a whole.
Oh, okay.
It's a beautiful vehicle, that's for sure. I understood from the briefing earlier that we're just supposed to grab it if something happens.
Whoop-de-doo.
Oh, he sees that too. Okay.
I think I got a dead body.
Yeah, and then can grab him. Where's the last one? All the way over there. Okay. Oh, I don't know who that is. Oh, that was the dude that was over here. Okay. Who finds him there? Probably the colonel that's walking up and down. Ad break incoming. Okay, let's forget about these two for a minute. Let's just go inside. Maybe I need to make him sick. I really don't want to do that, but...
The fact is that Kronstadt is very likely withholding
just transferred from Metro to Tech. Figured I'd try out a new beat, you know?
Better than you hoped it would be?
Don't know. This is my first gig.
Look at these officials,
Hey.
Yeah, Robert Knox straight up.
Will drastically improve the performance of any vehicle with
Will drastically improve the performance of any vehicle.
Earlier, they were just supposed to grab it or something happened. No poking around here.
Let's get you here.
Is that? Hey.
Okay. Let's drag you out of sight for now. Close that up.
Hey, you're not just gonna leave that?
Bum 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 bum. Let's see.
Yeah, me here. Just checking out a strange sound. Over.
I think I have an idea here. Just need to take 2 emetics. Yeah, see, I think there's 2 toilets here, right? Yeah. Yeah, that's too far away. Yeah, I have an idea about this. Let's just... do this first. Such a long haul to the end. Such a long haul. Okay. If I can shave off a bit of time. Replan. Okay, yes. So, I don't need coins. Can do without coins. So, I'm gonna take a emetic gas. Well, I could. Yeah.
I may only be a tech reporter, but I have info.
Would someone go see what the funk that was?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Transferred from Metro to Tech. Figured I'd try out a new beat, you know?
Better than you hoped it would be?
Don't know. This is my first gig. Never been in.
Shit!
Okay.
understood from the briefing earlier that we're just supposed to grab it if something happens.
There we go.
Hey, buddy, look. What's going on? Hello? Just...
Oh, he saw that again? Crap. Oh, buddy. I really need to remember to get him away from the door. Okay.
I may only be a tech reporter.
You hear that noise was? You should go see. Wait a minute.
Yep, okay.
Alrighty then.
Transferred from Metro to Tech.
Bum, bum, bum,
Figured I'd
bum,
try out a new
bum.
beat, you know?
Hoped it would be.
Don't know. This is my first gig.
Yeah, that's the wrong door. I need to go here. Otherwise I'm going to end up on the wrong place.
Advances offered by the fuel booster are so great, they absolutely crush
It's a beautiful vehicle, that's for sure. I understood from the briefing earlier that we're just supposed to grab it.
What the hell? Hey,
Yeah, go there.
get down here now.
Oh, I missed him.
But good enough to provide the...
Crap. Okay. It can't be that he was already done puking because that was not enough time. Okay, let's go. Let's try this again.
I may only be a tech reporter.
We might have a situation.
I may only be a tech reporter, but I have ambitions too, you know. The fact is that crime...
Yeah, it's not far enough. It's not far enough. It's not far enough. Okay, I need to be closer.
I may only be a tech reporter, but I have...
What was that? Horrible. Go over
I
there.
got them.
See what that was.
Go over there, see what it was.
Metro to Tech. Figured I'd try out a new beat.
Okay. Okay. Oh, I always get to remember I get to go here.
I understood from the briefing earlier that we're just supposed to grab it.
Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. Get you in here.
You got him.
Why? What? Why didn't they both go here? He went all the way over there. What?
Play it safe. Live to write another day.
Crap, why is he here now?
Hey, how are you?
I heard that.
Anyone, I need some help.
Crap. Was he closer to the other puking site? Let's see if I can wait this out a bit more.
I may only be a tech reporter, but I have ambitions too, you know. The fact is that Kronstadt is very likely withholding information on what actually happened in Tongan Valley. And I think the
So I just transferred from Metro to Tech. Figured I'd try out a new beat, you know?
Better than you hoped it would be.
Don't know. My perfect gig.
Damn, what was that?
I missed him.
It's a beautiful grass too. No poking around the engine or anything like that.
Knox is a genuine technical genius. He's really protected.
Yeah.
Hey, what? Hey, it's me. I think I got a serious situation with a possible dead body.
Perfect. This is exactly what I needed.
Why is he going in there? He's puking over there, but he's just walking around shaking it off. What if I don't get him? What if I just let him go? Maybe he's in a spot where I can just get him when I catch a comeback. That would be good. Let's try this. Let's try this. So just go for him. Huh?
So I just transferred from Metro to Tech. Figured I'd try out a new beat, you know? Oh?
Okay, everything's good.
What the hell is that?
Son of a bitch.
I saw it.
Grabby, grabby.
So great. They absolutely crushed the
Bum 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 bum.
Just supposed to grab it.
No. Hello? Think we might need an ambulance down here. I just found someone on the ground.
There's no way he can see that from there. Why are you coming in here, you asshole? Why? Assholio! Okay. I know I already completed the contract, but yeah, I want to see if I can do it faster.
I may only be a tech reporter, but I have ambitions too, you know. The fact is that Kronstadt is very likely withholding information on what...
Wah, 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 wah.
Metro to tech. Figured I'd try out a new beat, you know?
Everything you hoped it would be?
Don't know. This is my first gig. Never been to
Well, I could of course get the fish for the secret exit, but I can't exactly remember the exit code.
I understood from the briefing earlier that we're just supposed to grab it.
Let's get you in here.
Hello there.
Boop, boop, boop. Hi, Panda.
Sir? Uh-huh.
Oh my god, you... Seriously, dude. Good grief. Oh, my game is crashing. Of course it's crashing. Man, that last update is not stable. Stand by while the game is rebooting. Happy Wednesday to you, Panda. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Or a great morning. I don't know what time zone you're in, but yeah. Okay. Game modes, contracts, featured, and then Miami. Lethal Hands. Okay, and we're yeah. We're going here, dolphin. That makes sense, right? Yeah, the other ones are way too far away. Makes more sense to go here. And then do this, yes, okay. Do 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 do. Okay, Mr. Lee, let's go.
I may only be a tech reporter, but I have ambitions too, you know. The
State of the
fact is
nation,
that
man.
Kronstadt is very likely withholding
And the
information.
Do 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 do. Get the hammer.
Stand still!
Why? Damn it. He didn't knock out, dude. Okay. Wait a few seconds longer so that they're just a few seconds longer into their loop and they are already turning around or turn around.
I may only be a tech reporter, but I have ambitions too, you know. The fact is that Kronstadt is very likely withholding information on what actually happened.
So I just transferred from Metro to Tech. Figured I'd try out a new beat, you know?
Everything you hoped it would be.
See? That's what I mean. Where's the fish? Is it this one or is it this one? This one. Oh, I need the hammer. Well, I don't really need the hammer because I have the fish now, but okay. Whoa! What the fuck was that? I lost my bearings over here.
Outstanding. It's a work of art. It really is.
Hello.
Oh, I'm almost feeling a bit of...
I understood from the briefing earlier that we're just supposed to grab it.
Oh, fantastic.
Might have a possible disturbance. Keep you posted.
Say what? Hi. What the hell?
Did I miss him? Or is he already back? No, it can be.
What? Hey, hey. Oh, nice. I just threw up in my mouth a little bit.
But this timing also doesn't work out because he's already here again. Crap. Crap, 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 crap.
Man, please acknowledge. Come in, command. Someone's making trouble. Possibly high on drugs.
But I have ambitions too, you know. The fact is that that Kronstadt is very likely withholding information on what actually happened in Tungan Valley. And I think the people have a right to know.
My editor got me to chase the story too a few months ago. Called up their PR department.
Hey, I don't like your face.
The biggest runaround I've ever been on.
Why was I shooting the dude? Because I want to change up his routine so that he's back there. Okay, let's get closer with the durian then.
I may only be a tech reporter, but I have ambitions too, you know. The fact is that Kronstadt is very likely withholding information on what actually happened in Tungan Valley.
So I just transferred from Metro to Tech. Figured I'd try out a new beat, you know?
Everything you hoped it would be?
Don't know. This is my first gig.
Eyes open.
Okay. Now, I'm gonna shoot the camera, otherwise I'll maybe lose my fish again. Or my whatever throw I have. Oop. I'm not gonna bullet distract this dude, I'm just gonna, because this is, I think this is faster. Get you out of here. Okay.
Hello?
Out of the side of the door. Okay, dude should be puking, yes. Dude is puking. Fish. Okay. Nice, he's coming over here.
Lost visual. Lost visual. Anyone got eyes on Tango? I'm gonna take you down. Oh my God! Is there anyone who can help? Please.
Let's see if I remember this. It's this one, right? Over here. There we go. There we go. 313. Not too shabby. How did I do? Nice. That's... I can live with that. Sure, Stefan, 33 seconds. Right. 125. How the hell are these guys doing this so fast? Are they going backwards? Wonder how they're getting the two guys outside. Oh, he's 4 seconds. Okay. Not that far apart. Nice. Yeah, you gotta ignore Steph because he's cheating. And he probably has 30 seconds because he's like killing them on the spot and then running to the exit over there. And I guess all the others also did the secret exit. Good. Okay, next up. What is next? What is next? Oh, I lost my OBS over here. There we go. Where do we go next? Let's see. Whittleton Creek. Ooh. Let's see. The Assassin's Curse. This neighborhood is old and ancient, and it needs a weapon that kills to match. Fiber wire. Alrighty then. Fiber wire. Let's take this and turn that into the purple streak fiber wire. Do I need this? Probably not. So let's take this. Ribbed for her pleasure. And then... let's see. Are they in this house? Let's check it out. Let's check it out. Yep. Of course, there's always... oh, now I gotta get in there. Crap.
If the realtor doesn't show up, I want you to penetrate the house and there is substantial police presence in town for their
Oh, no subdues. Okay. Okay. Alrighty then. Probably to the other guy over there at last. Where the fuck is this dude? Other side of the Lewinsky property. The fuck?
Have a flight. Charles Blake III appreciates your support.
Charles Blake III. No, no.
Say, you guys haven't been poking around the frog habitat behind the house.
No.
Oh, okay, great. It's just that I saw one of those security people from Janice's house. Stop bringing me something back there.
Oh crap, I can't. I forget I'm not allowed to subdue anybody. Fuck me. Okay, upstairs. So...
Here's a flyer for you. Mr. Blake has many important initiatives to share.
Okay. Hey, you!
Hey, take him down!
You gotta be kidding me, man. Take him down! Somehow I forgot about this drain pipe and I'm always going around the back, but yeah.
Oh? Come in.
Get your outfit. Now I can at least move around a bit. You? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, crap.
If the realtor doesn't show up, I want you to penetrate the house for sale, Frank.
There's still a substantial police presence in the town because that politician visiting, sir.
Go see what that's all about.
Understood.
Body found. Well, that's... I gotta drag him into the other room.
Got it.
Let's see if he hears this. I mean, if he hears this. He doesn't hear that, so he's deaf too.
Go check it out. Okie dokie.
Hey.
Dude, if I...
Listen, sir. Excuse me. You're not allowed here, you know. That's it. 1 foot.
Wait, I'm not allowed here? I'm the same as you, dude.
I can't have made myself clear. This area is restricted.
Wow. Hey, Arna.
Be wrong, but
Hey, Shardy.
never meet again.
Okay, let's go check out what this... Oh, is he the one... Oh, I think I know which one he is.
Sector 3, all clear.
Let's see... Yeah, he shouldn't be a problem.
Hey, did you drop off the surveillance tapes on Janus at the house? Whoa.
Possible intruder. Sweeping area. Over.
He sees me, okay. Okay. Plan is forming. You want to try my contract? Sure, Arna. I'm always open for contracts. Let me see if I can round off this one before... but yeah. Post the deeds in the chat, please. You're so busted, yeah. I was. Oh my god. I'm so busted. Oh. Growl.
Jeez.
Why is this so finicky? Why? Okay, different approach. I'm afraid they'll hear the gun, even though it's silenced. Crap.
What'd you do that for, you bastard? Hitting that guy in the head. Why the hell?
Crap. So he hears that. Okay. How the hell did I manage to do it earlier then? Alright, Arna. We'll take a look at it ASAP.
Say what? Hey, buddy. You ever hear of trash cans? This is a restricted area! Yeah, now
Crap. So I wonder, can I have another idea? I have an idea. I have an idea. Don't know if it works, but we'll see about that. Gotta avoid the camera on the in the hallway though. Don't know if that's feasible. Looking the wrong way. Of course, I thought he was looking at this window when he was on the other side of the hallway. We'll see about that. Yeah, he is. Okay. Get your outfit. Cool. Now.
All right. A guy poking around the backyard earlier. He claimed he was there.
To look at the frogs.
What?
What was that? Someone should go and see. Now.
Hmm.
No. Yo, bodyguard. I would give it up right away if I were you.
Wow.
Oh, he's in here.
You idiot, you can't walk away from me. You don't look like a guard. Christ, I'm onto. You idiot.
Oh, I have coins. Okay. I do have coins, so I can distract him to the bathroom, I guess. So hopefully that works. Oh. It's a tricky one, this.
You can't be here.
Saw me. Oh my god. Oh man, come on. Don't be like this. I have an idea for him, but yeah. We'll see.
Attempt 47?
Yeah, it was, wasn't it?
On 17G just redeemed bold attempt.
Don't turn around, don't turn around, don't turn around. Okay. Okay, so now I gotta get down there. What was that? Ah, crap. Still captured on camera. Now they're out here again.
If the realtor doesn't show up.
Fuck off, dudes.
There's still a substantial police presence in the town because of that politician visiting, sir. Could be a problem.
You need to get into that basement somehow. Did you try calling the realtor?
No answer, Mr. Cassidy. I'm sure he's here somewhere, though.
How do I isolate these people? Now this one comes out. It's. Hey, Annie, welcome. Thank you so much for the sub. Why?
You gotta be kidding me.
Hey! No one ever taught you any manners.
Huh? might have a situation.
Oh my god, he's ultra deaf. Can't say long work. Oh yeah, I'm good. Thank you for dropping in and thank you for resubbing with Prime. Really appreciate it. Yeah, I took a half day off because I had some overtime and I can't stream on Friday, so hence the today stream. Why?
Huh? Okay. Excuse me? Hmm? Oh.
Come on, dudes. Yeah, every time I watch you play this, I want to play. Well, do it. Do it. Okay. There we go. Wait, 47 months? Yeah. that's a cool number, right? 47. Quite fitting for this game. Okay. Now, let's see. How about him? Can we get him to go somewhere? He goes there, yes.
Uh-huh.
Oh, it's you. You.
Man, I've heard something weird. I'm gonna go check it out.
Say what?
You didn't.
Wow. Huh?
Huh?
Stop that. Stand up.
Huh? Jeez.
Not you. Ah, he doesn't come in here. For fuck's sake. There's no closet in there, so...
Have a flyer. Read more about Charles Blake III.
Oh, great. Now, exactly now they're coming here. Okay.
What?
Man, I just heard something.
Okay.
I don't know.
So that leaves these two dudes. Okay. I'll just go out here. I'll leave him to the last because I want to leave him right there. Then he will be in view of people I don't want him to be in view of if they walk by, so...
I have to tell you, these are the best muffins I ever had. I'm supposed to meet a client for a house tour today, but I can't stop eating.
Hey, did you drop off the surveillance tapes on Janus at the house? Cassidy was asking for them earlier.
Yeah, how did them
Waiting for him to turn around.
What a stupid system. Record the surveillance in the attic, bring the tapes over to HQ and review them there. The recorder is perfectly capable of playing the tapes as well. Wanna just keep them
He hears that, but they don't.
There's some kind of fracas down here.
Yeah.
What?
That's not for you, dude.
Well, I'm tired of climbing that damn rickety ladder over there.
Huh?
Go. See what that was. Go, go.
Oh yeah, I get it. Excuse me? What do you think that noise was?
Okay. It only leaves him. Hopefully nobody will be found before I get him. Okay, let's get the fuck out of here. When did that happen? Literally right in front of him. Yeah. This, you gotta love game logic, right? Hey, Corrido. Welcome, welcome. Happy Wednesday. GG, thank you. Alright, Arna, I will take a look at your... let's see... Over here I have the code. Number 2 on the globals. I'll take it. Let's see. Manga 717. Ah, 2 seconds too late. Otherwise I would have had 47. Okay. Nicely done, people. Nicely done. Okay, let's take a look at Arna's contract. Hopefully it's not a ball buster. Did you see my message about the monitor? Monitor. Did you get a new monitor? Was that it with a higher DPI? Was that you? Oops. Contract lookup. Yeah, cool. That sharper monitor is always cool. I don't think my eyes are good enough anymore to see the difference, but yeah. 4K 27-inch. Man, that's very, very nice. I still have a, yeah, I have a 1920 by 1200 monitor, not 1080, 1200. But yeah, that's sharp enough for me. I'd like to go 27-inch, but then I have to get 2, and that's the expense I don't want to expend right now. But yeah, those big monitors, 4K, is very, very nice. After a few years of not making any contracts, I'm back with more, because making contracts will help me learn about game design. I will be reusing for my personal indie game project, which is already in the works. You can expect a demo with the first level pretty soon, or in a month or 2, making this contract. Nice. As usual, no metrics were involved, and making the player must follow the same. Okay. By the one and only Axie. Okay. Oh, this is also fiber wire only. No knockouts. No changing disguises. It must be in the suit. She the one where you start next to? Is that her? No. It's not her. So this does nothing for me. Okay. Yeah, man, you're working. I know you're working on your indie game. I'm anxious to see what your what the end product will be, or what kind of game it will be in the end. Very cool. Text clarity is amazing in 4K and games look great too. Yeah, they do. So sharp. Though I have trouble seeing individual pixels, but yeah, I can see the single pixel lines for the text before, for instance. Yeah, those are gonna be much smaller. Yeah, I was looking at a curved monitor, like that's like 2 screens wide, basically. But yeah, it's also expensive, and I have certain requirements that I'm not sure they are there, but it is what it is. I'll see. Maybe in the future. You had an ultra wide? Okay. Didn't work out, or did you just want to have the extra resolution? Because you can get ultra wides that there are also like 2 4K monitors next to each other, but they are super intense.
Have you seen a girl around?
Cutting it? Okay.
Short hair with a
No, it's not her.
bag.
Sorry.
Shit.
Oh, okay.
She says she meet.
So we're starting on the other side of the map. Over. Yo. My scroll is not scrolling. Oh, it was a VA panel. Oh, okay. I wanted a better panel with no dark smearing and ghosting. Yeah. I can see that. So it was an older ultra wide. Yeah. Maybe get an ultra wide OLED. Ooh, that would be sweet. Blacks will be black. He doesn't hear it. Oh. Just fiber wire. Why didn't you tell me I needed a fiber wire? Melee fiber wire. Okay, let's go with the classic. Whoopsie. Indeed. Yeah, let's take a ball. That's Krugi. I don't need the smuggled item for now. We'll see. I hope I can catch her before she runs away. This ain't Hokkaido. Yeah, scrambler's useful, maybe. Yeah, that's true. Don't really need a scrambler. True. Oh well, we'll see if I need anything else. Otherwise we'll replan, right? So stupid that you can't corrupt from here. If I get her here, then yeah. There we go. Crap. So this one is out. I'm gonna go back to coins. Hey, my streams. Welcome. Crap. It's time to get swifty. Happy Wednesday, mister. Miss streams. Yeah, me streams. Welcome. Happy Wednesday. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Need to head out. Have a great scene. Thank you again for the resub, Annie.
This is considered
Take care. Have a good work day. Whoa, why is she not? Come on, lady. And thank you so much for the lurk. Surprise.
Surprise, motherfucker.
There we go. Okay, who's next? Let's go with her, I guess. Still here listening, unpacking groceries and cooking dinner. Well, thank you so much, Benny. Glad you're still here. What's going on in that noodle place?
What's that? Just
Yeah. Okay, cool. Who's next? Him? Yeah. Crap. What level is he on? Oh boy. And I can't change. Fuck me. So, yeah. I guess I'm going through the building here. Yeah. Let's go in here. Oh, I thought I could go... What am I confused with then? I thought I could go up from here. Bum, 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 ba-dum, bum, bum. Nobody's the wiser. Crap. They hear it, they don't. Since when has that changed? Can't lure him upstairs anymore? Oh, blah, 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 blah. Where did this eventually end up then? Oh, it was through the arcade then. Yeah. Okay. Okay. What was that? Look, shiny coin for you. Yoink. There we go. Whee! Into the abyss. Alright, alright, alright. Okay. We have that one under control. What's going on in the noodle place? Okay. His umbrella just disappeared. I guess he put it in his prison pocket. Dude, why are you suddenly seeing this? Oh my god.
Weird, weird.
Doom doom do do doom do doom do do doom. Did I hear something? Yes, you did, miss. Wish I could be here just a little bit faster before she gets up the stairs, but yeah, that's just no way. Okay. Other side. Don't know if it's necessary, but yeah. Don't know if that lady eventually comes over here. So I have to do something about that dude.
I think you might underestimate the power of Hitman.
Huh? Hey, who's doing this?
How the hell does he see that? There's no way you can see that from there, man. Fucking X-ray vision. If he can look through the wall, I cannot get him there. Wall hacking, yeah, exactly. He's wall hacking. How do I compete with wall hacking? Wall hacking NPCs, to be completely honest. Does she come all the way down? Yes.
You shouldn't be out here with a bad influence.
If I get him over here, they will see.
What's going on in that noodle place? It's 3 in the morning, and I hey, turning up for work.
I think you might underestimate the power of late night noodle rush.
Man, you read me. This just got serious.
If you're gonna talk like that, you can go alone.
Weird.
Copy, command.
So cool.
No sign of the perp.
Oh, really?
How unfortunate. That will affect your final payment.
Shardy_waffled_ just redeemed. How unfortunate.
How the hell am I supposed to do this? I'm either being wall hacked or he has eyes in the back of his head because he was looking at the coin and somehow he still got it. Still got me. Yes, you heard something. It wouldn't be dead in this short amount of time with a carrot, unless they're like breaking your neck at the same time. Oh, what else can I do with him?
Shouldn't be out here with a bad influence.
Can I like get him over here?
Huh?
No.
Use a trash can next time.
What's going on in that noodle place? It's 3 in the morning, and I swear I've seen at least 4 chefs turning up for work.
I think you might underestimate the power of a late night noodle.
Hey, you up there? Did you find it?
It's gotta be good.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me, man. I just gotta wait long enough for the dude to it's too long. For the dude to have talked to the guy upstairs. So that he faces the other way. No, this is Arna's contract. I did the Fiberwire contract before this one. So this is another... I know it says in the title featured contract, but Arna asked if I could do one of his contracts, so I obliged.
Did I hear something?
Did I hear something? Yes.
Oh,
Almost up there. I guess still gotta trigger this conversation here, right?
What's going on in that noodle place? It's 3 in the morning.
Oh. Hold on, sir.
You up there? You find it? Take it easy, okay?
I think you might underestimate the power of
What? I couldn't hear you. I said, did you find it yet? Not yet. It has to be up here somewhere. Looking.
Okay, so he's gonna turn around. Cool. Now I can grab him. What the? Now the fucking lady comes outside. Are you kidding me?
What's going on here? What happened? Command, please acknowledge. Come in, command. Someone's causing panic.
I strongly suggest you leave the vicinity ASAP.
Yes. What the hell? What the fuck?
Oh my god.
Where's the lady that told on me?
What is this? Did you do this? Did you do this? Come in. Come in.
Why?
We need to secure the area. What the hell happened here? You involved, sir?
Have you completely lost your mind? Take this! And this! And this! Move out! Got time! Oh my god! I lost him! Oh, I can't see him! I can't see him! Anyone got him? Shooter! There you die!
Get over here.
Damn it! I don't have visual! Where is he? On the stairs! That's cold.
Going for civilians.
Back. Got a body on the ground. Hold on.
I think we need a doctor over here. Hey, stop! Got a situation here.
I understand. You're gone. Crap! Shooters are here.
Fan out! Find him!
All right.
Anyone going to help me out?
I don't know, man. I'm really struggling to get the second one. Let's not think about the other ones right now.
I guess it wasn't anything to worry about.
Okay. Gotcha, bitch.
Shouldn't be out here with a bad influence.
What's going on in that noodle place? It's 3 in the morning. And I swear I've seen
You up there? You find it? What? I couldn't hear you. I said, did you find it yet? Not yet.
What's that?
It has to be up here somewhere. Keep looking.
No. Anyone there?
Okay. Now we've got that one out of the way. Let's look at this one. I can't go in there. Can't change outfits, gotta remember that. Let's get the key, that's under the brick here. Wait. Oh, he's... Wait there, yeah. How am I gonna do this?
You accept that you may suffer partial or complete memory. You understand that full compensation for the above mentioned.
Crap. There's no way to get up higher from here, right?
Get the hell out of here.
There, no.
This flyer, that it says I can make a lot of money to be in some experiment.
They don't want people like us for that sort of thing.
And I can't knock anybody out.
The flyer says so. Oh, Uncle, this is my chance. I just... Sit down, get a house. I'm never going out in the rain again.
Okay. So if he goes over there, I want to do a wall shot there, so that he looks the other way.
Come on. Oh, it's not like I haven't been here before.
Sir, I'm sorry. This is a restricted area. That's a good boy.
Command.
No offense, but I
Nothing
hope I don't see you.
It's funny how kids look so innocent when they sleep.
Okay, so now how do I isolate him? Whoa, 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 you don't see it? Oh my god.
Yeah, he does a bit, doesn't he?
You didn't see anything, dude.
You know, I enjoy your company.
That's nice.
You too. Yeah, that last guy wouldn't shut up about it. Got 1,000 questions. An hour.
What are those experiments about? I overhear stuff that I don't know. Mind control.
You've got to be kidding.
It is a little freaky, though. Those homeless people. Upstairs, I've seen how she control their arms with mine.
It's not his mind, it's the machine.
Chọn quá.
This is a...
Fuck me. Don't want to do this, man. How the hell am I gonna get him? You can't knock anybody out. You don't want anybody to use emetics. Boom, 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 boom. Lady, your feet are in the concrete. Close the door.
I think you might underestimate how what?
I said, did you find his dad?
Oh. Anyone there?
Try and keep an eye on the spots inside. Yeah, she's now moving outside, but I'm really there. Okay. Where the fuck is he? Oh my god. Are you kidding me, dude?
Ah, my knee is so sore.
Why's that? I fell over because a homeless woman suddenly jumped up right beside me. She was hiding in a hole with cupboard money. I'm gonna be rich. Get the hell out of here. I got this flyer, and it says I can make a lot of money to be in some experiment.
They don't want people like us for that sort of thing.
Okay, now
We want people like us.
we're here again.
That means it's too dangerous for rich people.
Oh, I'm going. This is my chance. I just need to find out where he is. The flyer has a symbol on it.
Yeah, man, there's some kind of ruckus down here. Have a look around.
Excuse me, sir. This area's off limits. That's good, sir. Keep walking. Central.
Crap, he's going the wrong way.
Hey, Command. It's me. Nothing worth wasting our time on. It's all good.
Jeez.
What was that?
Okay.
I just heard a weird noise. I'm moving in to investigate.
Okay. Anybody upstairs? No, right? Everybody here? Yes. Okay, so now I gotta go down or up, one or the two. I think I need to go up to go over the bridge, yes. Okay. Okay. Alright, I killed the already killed them. Oh no 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 no. How the hell did you see that? So done with this one. I don't know what they did in the last updates, but this should not happen. Where's the other lady? All the way over there. What?
That flyer they started handing out to the homeless really got them flowing in.
Yeah, but it creeps me out how they're different.
Yeah, I'd say they're different.
You should be more careful.
Okay. Fuck off, man. So much bullshit, this. Give it one more try and then I'm just gonna nope out of here. Okay, so he's a long way away, that gives me time. Trigger his communication.
Hey, you up there? You find it?
I swear I've seen at least 4 chefs turning out for work.
What?
I think you might underestimate
Hear
the
you.
power
I
of a
said,
midnight noodle.
did you find it
You
yet?
up for
Not
grabbing
yet.
some? It's gotta be good.
By the time he gets there now, the lady will be on her way, I think.
Huh? What was that noise?
I think we are getting away with it. Okay.
Flyers started handing out to the homeless really got them flowing in.
Yeah, but it creeps me out how they're different when they leave.
Okay.
It says I can make a lot of money to be in some experiment.
We don't want people like us for that sort of thing.
No, they only want people like us. The fire said so.
That means it's too dangerous for rich people. Don't do it.
Oh, I'm going.
Man,
this is my
heard
chance.
something.
I just need to find out where it
Go
is.
on.
The flyer has a symbol I need to find on a building.
Oh yeah. You're not allowed to
know
be in
you
here.
shouldn't be here. Pacify the bastard.
Move to better position. Force it.
This is so bullshit. I'm really not having fun with this one. Pum, 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 pum. And now she's way too far away, so she... I have some idea how to get those guys out of there, but yeah.
It wasn't anything to worry about.
Gotta get there before he gotta trigger the this dude. Let's close this.
Up there. Find it.
I think you might underestimate the power of a midnight noodle.
Couldn't hear you. I said, did you find it yet? Not yet. It'll be up here somewhere.
Oh. Anyone there?
Gotcha, bitch. Okay. Well, for my next trick, now I need to move these guys.
Flyer that started handing out to the homeless really got them flowing in.
Yeah, but it creeps me out how they're different when they leave.
Yeah, I'd say that.
It says I can make a lot of money to be in some experiment.
We don't want people.
You accept that you may suffer partial or complete memory loss. You understand that full compensation for the above mentioned is part of
Give them all you got.
I'm going. This is my chance. I just need to find out where he is.
Oh my god, he's coming down too. Why are you down here, dude?
I'm afraid to say we got some trouble coming.
I'm done with this one. Nothing works. I'm just going back to the featured. I'm getting too frustrated. Let's see, New York. Frank and his buddies have no honor. Eliminate them to restore honor back to security. Okay, Shuriken Tento, and whatever. So, we need a Shuriken. Somewhere down here. And I do need a Tanto. That's a melee item. I think it's way in the back. No. Combat knife? Hobby knife? Oh, it's gotta be in a briefcase, probably. Crap. Okay. Container. No. Purple. And then melee. Let me see. Where is it? Samuni. Does this count as a Tanto? What the hell? Is that an unlock somewhere? The Tanto? Because I was pretty sure I had it, but... What am I missing here? No. These are tools. That's not good. Melee. Combat knife. Concealable knife. A dagger. Samuni. Over here. Apparently I'm blind. And I'm wearing my glasses. So, and you get in any disguise. Okay, so Frank. Okay. I have a smuggle spot available, so... Okay.
Hello again. Was wondering if, by some miracle, someone had returned my briefcase?
No problem. Let me check. No, sir. It's not been handed in.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Frank is still there, okay. Frank is Shuriken, okay.
Take him down. Take him down.
Ah. Yeah, it's the fact that I had to hide from the dude that I didn't have time to do anything. Hi, Frank.
I'm sorry I keep bothering you, but briefcases turned up yet?
I don't think so, but let me see.
Gee!
Ah.
I know it's futile, but I'd really like to know if my briefcase turned up. It's very important.
I'll check again. Sorry, sir. It still hasn't turned up.
Well, that's...
What the hell is this? Give it up!
Hey!
Drop the firearm, okay?
It's all not really helping me. And I need a shuriken first, so...
Hello again. Wondering if... Sorry.
Really? He's gonna take that away? Oh my god. Frank, you lazy bum.
You wanna know what it is? I don't get it.
A bear and a rabbit. I think I can wait. Huh?
Excuse me?
Oh, come on. Stop throwing stuff around.
I'm not sure.
God damn it! Ah, lazy ass fucker.
Yeah, I tried the cash machine, but for some reason
Uh-huh.
my card Listen, I'll call you when I'm done.
There we go.
Yeah. Okay. I'll just come back a little later.
Finally, I can isolate him. Okay. Put you in here. Okay. He was, yeah, okay. Cool. Get this, get the keys. Cool. Okay, so now I need to get him. Can I get you in here, sir?
What?
What's your thing? Tanto. Okay.
Strange.
Get in here, sir.
I can't really explain, but could you send someone?
Unhand that corpse, sir. Drop.
Fuck me. What? Why did he call this in and not get in here? Oh well. Oh, at least I know how to get Frank in here now.
Wow.
Hey, take it easy, man.
Crap.
Okay, who are you gonna give it to? Why is she going to give it to him?
Say what?
Jeez.
Easy now, mister. Take it slow.
Huh? Huh?
Oh, hi. Uh-huh.
Hey, easy now, big boy.
Wow.
Okay. Finally. Takes a bit of fiddling, but then finally he gets there. Let's see, shuriken. Okay. Does he get all the way in here?
Press catcher is talking about this hotel. This hole leading into the vault?
Okay.
Is anybody there?
Okay, get the Tenso out of there. Sorry, I'm not talking too much, but this game is getting to me today. Okay. Okay, who's next? Downstairs. Oh, he's the one that's near the cleaning lady, I guess. And this one's upstairs. Level 1. Oh, it's you.
Hey, maintenance have a look at the deposit box room camera. Broken one.
Yeah, Perez brought someone down there himself. Man is really hands-on here. I've only seen him this proactive once before. You know, that bomb investigators.
Is he also running the investigation today?
No, that's Fabian Mann. Although
Okay.
I'm guessing Perez being around. I don't know.
Man,
Put that there, so he will come down if he, hopefully he sees that. So now I'm taking this out.
What was that?
I'm just casually strolling here, dude. See the gun here? It's a gun. The gun here.
Man. Say what?
Oh, at least he didn't waste his time. This time. Crap! He was a shuriken. Dear God. Okay, Frank.
Wow.
Wow, that was quick. Let's see, shuriken. Gotta keep an eye on these target requirements. Okay. And outfit. Let's see, he was Tonto, yeah.
If anyone's there, identify yourself.
Excuse me?
Get that. Chili chugging away from. Oh, nice.
Not in the.
Okay, I'm gonna put you away just in case there's a panic and a stampede and people come in here and I don't want to deal with that. Okay, so now we go to the other side. Okay, gotta remember he is a shuriken. Waiting for the camera to move.
How are you today, sir?
I'm good, thank you.
Command, I just heard some.
It's weird. Then they see you, and then they suddenly
Oh, yeah, that's all.
they stop doing what they're doing. Okay. Yeah, I can turn off this.
Crap! That is so annoying.
Oh, he doesn't like me. Put you in here.
Gotta be kidding me.
Oh, wait, before I do that, he's a Tonto, okay. I almost threw my my thing at him. So if I kill him here. Okay. getting him.
Huh? Okay. I'm a professional. No need to worry. I got this.
Come to the director's
He is anything.
Aren't you Ruby Red, the investigator? Hold on, hold on. Data appeared.
Wow.
There we go. There we go. Alrighty then. Let's see. Thank you, Penny. So that is gonna have to be it for today because my wife is on her way home and we gotta start dinner. So we are going to raid Shrimpy. He is a very cool guy and does a lot of work for manga. And yeah, he's streaming World of Assassination. He is playing new featured contracts. I think he's on the same map as I am. So yeah, let's go say hi to Shrimpy, and yeah, he is game audio only because he has trouble, but that's okay. We're gonna say hi to him and spread the love. So I will be back next Friday, not this Friday, but next Friday, and yeah, I don't think I can stream this weekend. So no, Saturday is off. Sunday probably not too. So see you guys next Friday. Later.